Okay, hey, it's Mega here. So we're doing this is a little after LAB2V vlog. It's just a vlog to update you on like how all the work I did on the bike did. So if you haven't watched my my preparation vlog, look in the LAB2V playlist and it's in there, or just type Hades Omega preps for LAB2V 2018. And I did a lot of prep to get this bike ready for LAB2V 2018, simply because I just procrastinated for so long. That's all it is. I knew I wanted to ride it again on LAB2V, and then I had like a month to prepare basically. But by the time I started working on it, but I had been gathering the parts. So anyway, we're just gonna kind of go through everything. I just washed the bike. If it's one thing, like, I don't mind dual sport looking dirty, because that's the way it should be. It should be dirty, you know. But I can't stand seeing two things on the bike: is mud and bugs. So there was bugs on my KLR, so I washed that yesterday. And so yeah, apologize for the airplane sounds and the lawnmower, but all right. So let's just kind of go over everything. So those of you that have been keeping up to date, my subframe is bent on my KLR DR CactusPuncher here, so you can see I can put my finger in there. What I might do later, what I think might work, is if I got a acetylene torch and heated up the areas where it was bent, and then pulled up on the rack, like with like a cherry picker or something, or an engine hoist, like pick up the rear of the bike and then heat it up, and then maybe this will go back. But I think so those of you know that to prep for LAB2V, I took as much weight off the bike as possible, and the number one thing that was adding more weight were these racks. So we found out these racks had about 20-30 pounds. It's not the racks itself, it's all the stuff that's hanging off the racks, like this cutting board and this rotopax and this tool tube. All add weight, you know. It all adds up. That's one of them. Where's the other one? Oh, right there. Yeah, and in this bag, it adds weight too. So we ditched those, and one of them was bent anyway. So it looked kind of messed up when it was on. So looks a lot better without the racks on it. So I think, I hate to say it, I think the racks are gonna stay off. What I think is gonna happen, so what I did is, we took the racks off, and I put a lot of the spares and the tools either on myself or like underneath the rack here. So here we have the spare levers and shift lever. You should always ride with spare levers and shift lever if you're going to be out on the trails. I don't care if it's, not that far away. You can always bust a lever or a shift lever. I have, like I mentioned earlier, I have never broken a lever on a DR because I have hand guards. And I have shortened levers. I shorten them myself. If I have a video on how to do that, if anyone is interested, look it up. It's somewhere. It's somewhere. I don't think it's pretty much, you can do it on any lever. If you have like a cutter and some JB weld, So yeah. Anyway, strapping the stuff to the bottom of the rack helped. I think we're gonna stay with the rack. This is barbecue rack 2.0 is what I call it. It was okay. I think I dropped the bike twice, and I feel like the rack bent a little bit when I went down. The first time I went down, I hit pretty hard. Yeah, but I think it is a little tweaked. I do like having the tail rack because it protects the turn signals and it protects the other stuff on the bike. So I would like to keep this as long as possible. Of course, I bent it, so maybe we can just bend it back. I don't know. But anyway, I was thinking maybe somewhere along the line I would get that Moose Racing Adventure rack. That's probably one of the beefier looking racks. I would probably get that, or maybe the cycle racks. Because my plan, I think we're gonna keep the DR, and I think this is gonna continue to be my adventure bike until I get another bike, But what I think. We'll still roll with the duffel. I did bring the duffel bag with me, and I did attach it to the bike when we went home, so that it actually worked out pretty good. But I only had like not a lot of stuff in it, so just enough stuff to hang out at my buddy's place for a day or two, you know. So this worked pretty good. This is not waterproof. I just washed the bike and I can feel the canvas bag is all wet. I'm sure whatever's in there is wet. So I will wait a couple days and then we'll see how that turns out. And then we'll wait a couple days and I'll shoot another video to see how well this stuff does against the weather, the elements. I think I had I don't remember. It wasn't a tusk bag like this. I had another bag that was pretty waterproof. I just wash it, you know, and nothing gets wet in there. So we'll see if the stuff gets wet. I'll check it tomorrow. We'll take everything out tomorrow and we'll see if it got wet after I washed it. So yeah. So we'll see how the stuff does against water. That's another thing I like. That's kind of deficient in my my gear is its waterproofness. It's water resistant, but it's not waterproof. But these MRE bags are waterproof, so we'll see how good it does. I was thinking like, hey, the two barely fit in this bag, so we could just whatchamacallit, we could put two MRE bags in there. And they'll be super sealed, but then we'll see if water gets through somehow. So tomorrow, after I wash the bike, I got it nice and wet. We'll see how wet the stuff is in there still. If your stuff stays wet for more than a day, like, you risk it getting moldy, you know, and you don't want that. Yeah, that sucks. Moldy and rusty. I did break a turn signal. Well, I didn't break. I don't know what happened to this, man. It just the lens came off. And I even glued it so it wouldn't do that, you know. And so yeah, so what I'm going to do is just replace this one. I have the other light for this that, if you remember, I replaced this one because it was bad. I'm going to replace it with this one. I'm going to put the other one on there, so they match now. This turn signal thingy is busted. It works, but it's very hard, you know. It is in not good shape anymore. So I think it's just all that years of riding in the dust and dirt have done it in. It kind of works, but not really. It's definitely not good to use. Like, you can't get it on the first try. And if you need to change a lane, you need to change a lane. And you can't be fiddle fucking around with this, you know. So definitely have to replace this. I'll see if I can get a better one. The Suzuki one is okay, but it's not awesome. This one I'm gonna say. I'm looking for something more like... There's the one, my favorite one is the Kawasaki one, but not this one. This is the KLR. It's just a rocker switch. And this one is a lot like the Suzuki. Yeah, this one is actually pretty nice. If I can find something like this, it'll be nice. But we'll see if we can find another one from a donor DR. It works okay, and I just need to replace it. What else? The chain. Okay, let's go look at the chain. So the chain is all muddy and yucky again. So I tried to lube it as much as I could. I think I over lubed it, but I remember it was just creating this kind of mud and grease solution. Is what it was. The chain would just get coated in dirt, you know. And that's the reason why this chain has gone so bad so fast, because of the conditions I ride it in. They don't last that long. But it did okay. It didn't stretch at all, nothing, you know. And I think all we're going to do is we're going to clean it up. I'll clean it up with the WD-40 again, which it worked fantastic last time. And we'll see. I just washed the bike and I wiped the chain with a tissue paper. And that's as clean as I can get it right now. So you can see it's kind of got like a greasy, yeah, it's like kind of like a greasy sand or dirt all over it, and there's like kind of like mud on the sprocket. So if you remember correctly, it was kind of like that, but it was dry before, and I was able to clean it with the WD-40. It actually worked really good, so I was impressed with the way the WD-40 worked. So if you don't remember what I did last time, I soaked the chain in WD-40 twice. I sprayed it, I wiped it, I brushed it, I sprayed it again, wiped it, brushed it, and then I sprayed it with some chain clean, some Motorex chain cleaner, and then just to kind of get that that WD-40 out of there, because WD-40 is not a lubricant. And then we let it sit for a day or two, and then I lubed it. So that, I think, worked beautifully. And you're just gonna, whenever you go home, you're gonna have to do that, but I can't really do that on the road, you know. Yeah, so I mean, hey, Haze Mega is foregrounding, and the next bike it gets will have a shaft drive. We'll have shaft drive, so I don't have to worry about this crap anymore. Don't worry about tightening chains and all that stuff on the road. That's no fun, man. Okay, so what else? What else? So, oh yeah, I talked about the luggages. I think Haze Mega is gonna go with a giant loop bag, a big giant loop bag. I just need a bag to put my tools in, because I do not like carrying bags on my tools on my back. However, so this is the bag that I rode with. It was really comfortable riding with this bag. I don't know what it is. It's not really comfortable when I ride with it with my dirt bike shit on, like that one, the chest protector, but with my jacket on, it was okay, you know. Even when I got hot, it was okay. It didn't make me all sweaty because the jacket kind of insulates you. And after a while, I didn't even notice it was there, except when you fill it up with water all the way, 2 liters. I think this takes 2.5 liters of water. When you fill it up all the way, you notice it's there, man. It is super heavy, man. But right now, there's like only like probably less than half a liter in there. It's not too heavy right now. So if you remember, it was about 11 pounds with just a little bit of water in it. So I swear it was like probably like 20 pounds full of water. So yeah. I do not want, on an adventure ride, a long distance adventure ride, I do not want to be carrying tools on me. So I think I'm going to go invest in like a giant loop bag or some kind of Moscow luggage system. I know they're big money, you know, but they're lightweight, you know, and the important thing I believe is, if you want to carry lots of weight on the bike, you got to do it. You got to do it like as close as possible to the front of the bike. Don't put it at the very end. I think that's what the death of the subframe happened, because the rear of the bike had a lot of weight on it. So I'm thinking we're going to put a giant loop on here, and then maybe we'll still run the duffel bag, but the duffel bag will be only the camping stuff, which is still kind of heavy, damn it. I know. So I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll try to load the giant loop or the luggage bag, and it goes around the passenger section and this section right here. But Haze Mega takes a lot of stuff with him when he goes on adventure riding. So, and you know, I'm a motovlogger. I gotta have my computer and my cameras and all that crap. So it's just a lot of stuff, you know. And I'm used to riding with all that stuff, but the bike just, after so long doing that, it just, you know, gave up. The subframe gave up. Yeah, so we will go take apart this thingy here. I'm thinking we're gonna add some more rubber washers to this, so it has a little more insulation. But I think it looks okay. It does have a little bit of play, which is good. We want it to have some play. So we'll take that apart and we'll see how it turned out. Maybe it just destroyed the grommets, but tomorrow when we take this apart, we'll take that out, check it out real quick. Steering head bearings was another number one thing. The number one thing that had to get done on the bike. So now that the back is so light, the bike is very, the back wants to stay up. So to do that, to fix that, I got this with this carabiner there. I'll just attach it right here. Pull it back. And there you go. So now the front is in the air. So as you can see, the steering is still smooth, so I didn't have any problem with the steering. It's good, and it's the way you want it now. So they say the best way to adjust it is, so if you just kind of just barely hit the handlebar, it'll fall over, you know, and there it is. So for some reason it's a little heavier on the left than the right. I think that's because the subframe is bent or something. Or maybe there's just more weight on that side, probably, because of all this crap over here. But it's still smooth. I didn't have any problems with the steering at all. I think it may need to be tightened a little. It's a little too too light now, but I guess that's okay. I didn't have any problem with the steering. It handled beautifully. What else? What else did we work on the bike with? We did replace the fuel line. Didn't have any problems with that. What I think, since I decided I'm going to keep this as my adventure bike, we're going to go ahead and put this big Acerbus gas tank on. Put this big boy on. 6.6 gallons, man. That's an extra, more than an extra gallon. Should get me the distance, man. It's gonna add more weight to the bike though. so we'll see. Yeah, well, we'll go put those on. The IMS tank and this luggage, this tank pannier combo works great, man. I never had any problem with it. I hope this works good with that. So we will be going and installing that. I think I heard that you have to relocate your turn signals, and we're going to be using a Raptor petcock instead of the stock one. Yeah, it should be good, hopefully. I'm going to try to get some kind of tank pads too for it. Try those out. What else? So yeah, I'll be putting a bigger gas tank. That's one of the things I was worried about the whole time during LA Barstow to Vegas, is running out of gas, because I didn't have any spare gas with me. So but I never did run out of gas. I would always, at least at every gas stop, I would at least put a gallon in or top off, you know. And I never ran out of gas. So yeah, we never ran out of gas. That's good. I don't think we went over, we never went over like 80 miles or something. So I mean, that should be more than enough, you know. But sometimes this bike does guzzle gas. Suspension preload is okay. The preload was okay. I felt I bottomed it out a couple times on the whoops. It's rough, dude. And you can see there's some marks on there. One of my guesses is that since the fender is lower now, it hits the wheel more. I didn't get any flats. We ran D606 in the back, if you remember, and TKC 80 in the front. These tires are great. This is the first time I've ever used a D606. One that was in good shape anyways, and I liked it, you know. For the loose stuff, it's great, man. It works really good. It's a really hard tire, and it's fairly knobbly, so it does a great job in the really loose stuff. We didn't really ride in any mud. We rode in deep sand, gravel, rocks. Rocks was okay. Surprisingly, the TKC 80, even though it's pretty much at 25% of its life left, is still a good tire. I could not believe it. It was gripping in the sand, you know, in the loose stuff. And yeah, it's like the D606. It's kind of slippery on like the hard pack stuff, but I was surprised. I'm surprised with this tire. I thought it was okay before, you know, but now my opinion is it's a good tire now. It's a good all-around tire. I like it. I like it a lot. One thing is, I don't know if it's this tire or the back tire, these tires howl on the freeway. The more they get worn out, the more they wear out, the more they howl on the freeway. So it's kind of like if you ever listen to like a truck with off-road tires rolling down the road really fast, it sounds like a tank is rolling by, right? That's what it sounds like. So that's one thing I don't like about these tires. So if you were gonna do mostly dirt, these are good. I still think if you're gonna do, if you want to do more 50-50 riding, these are the ones right here you want. Shinko 805. But these are a bitch to put on. I found that out when I took it off. I was like man, the D606 installed so much easier because it's a taller tire, and that may be another reason I was hitting the fender on full compression, because it's a taller tire. This is a 90, I think, 90 height. I think it's 130 90 17, where the other ones are 130 80 17. And honestly, I'd rather have them taller because it's a fucking pain in the ass to install these tires. But another thing is, these are tubeless tires and those are tube tires, so that might be another reason that these are easier to install. But these tires did not fight me at all. They went on very easily. So for ease of install, I like those tires. Those tires were one of the easiest dual sport tires I've ever installed. So thumbs up for that. It's good for everything, but I mean, you could ride it on the pavement. I didn't ride it in wet conditions. I don't think this would be a good tire to ride in the rain either, because it's so hard, you know. I don't think that would be a good tire to ride. Because I remember with the Kenda 270, I think, I had low side in the rain, and I think it's because of those Kendas, because the Kendas were like really knobby, and they're pretty hard tires. So it's pretty much a trials tire, you know. So yeah. Still, Hades Omega's favorite tire are the Shinko 805s. So I still have not tried those Pirelli MT21s though. TKC80, I like the front. I've never tried the rear TKC80. We will have to give the TKC80 a run. I don't even remember how I got this tire. I don't remember. I think I got it with one of my wheels, but these tires are great. I like them. But I still like the Shinko 804 also. The Shinko 804s were great tires too. It's kind of a toss-up. I feel they're the same. I think they're the same. This one is very knobby. It's got a lot of knobs on it though, compared to the 804. I still think they last about the same. This tire is very soft. It does not last long. I noticed it's wears about the same rate as the rear 805, you know, and that's a rear tire. So, but TKC 80 front, good. I like it. It's a good. I would run it again. And I don't think this is the one that's making the noise. I think it's the rear one, the D606. So, I'm very happy with the TKC 80 front. I don't know how it is on the rear. We're gonna have to go get one time. I know the Beamers use them. I think a lot of adventure bikes use them, so it's a good tire. Continental Twin Duro TKC80. What else? We're gonna go check out the. So the maintenance things I got to do on this bike before I got to get it out of here. I got to get the KLX back in here and work on it. But we need to clean the air filter. We'll pull that out. It looked really dirty, and but I never had any problems with it choking or anything. So. I think it was fine. We were at pretty high elevation, so we needed all the air we could get. So I feel that it was okay, I guess. Let's see how this is. Okay, so I just washed the bike, and it's not all wet. All my stuff is still in there, and it's not destroyed. These are these batteries I took. I don't know if I should keep them in there, but my registration is here, and it's safe, so it's good. All right, so this one passed the test. It got all wet and stuff. Yeah, all that stuff was dry. I don't think I shot it directly with water, but I might have. I don't remember when I washed it. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, so the preload was okay. The front is too stiff on this bike. I think I reached the limit of what, you know, the Intimidators can do for me. Now I think I kind of know why they're saying that that get like the Cogent front, the DDCs or whatever they call them. The Cogent ones are better because they function both ways, while this one only functions one way. This front was okay on everything, but I'd like to say high-speed washboards, man. And like, I'm not talking about like itty-bitty little washboards. I'm talking about like a foot-high washboards, sort of. It would just pound the shit out of my hands, man. The handlebars would just be going up and down, you know. It's like they were like opposites, you know. They're counteracting each other, you know. Yeah, I feel that Hades Omega has reached the limits of what you could do with the suspension, but I feel that it's too stiff because the bike is lighter now. But for adventure riding, I think it's okay. But I think it would be better if we went with something with like a Cogent valving or something, or some kind of some real deal valving, or just replace the forks with the other forks, period. But I've been running the setup for a while and I like it, but those, I just remembered a high-speed washboard, you know, and we still can't do whoops. The bike still won't do whoops, like constant whoops. It'll do two, a double or triple, and then it just wants to throw you off already. So yeah, so it definitely ain't no whoops bike. And like the whoops is all the rear shock, pretty much. The front never really bottomed out. It didn't bottom out. I didn't get everyone over the handlebars, so having it be stiff keeps it from bottoming out is a good thing. But I felt that on the washboard stuff, maybe if we put the stock springs back on, it would have been fine. Because you're supposed to run these with the Intimidators with stock springs, but since the bike was so heavy before in its adventure configuration, I bought some progressive springs, and I like them. They're okay. But everything but that washboard stuff, it can handle, you know. So rocks and all that stuff, good stuff. Yeah, so I think that's about it. All the electronics worked okay. My trail tech switch broke again. What I might do is I might just twist this together permanently so the lights are on all the time, or I just get another trail tech switch. Yeah, I'll probably just get another trail tech switch. Heated grips worked all the time. All the electronics worked fine. Yeah, I didn't have much problems with the electronics. I do think I need to get a new battery though. This battery's getting old. I don't know if we're gonna go with the Odyssey or Shore-Eye. I would like to try Shore-Eye out, but I don't know how that would be for adventure riding, you know. Actually, they have an anti-gravity battery too. I would like to try. So, yeah. Okay, so we'll go check out the. We're gonna go check out the air filter right now. We'll see how it's doing. Shouldn't take too long to get to it. That's pretty much the only maintenance I have to do on the bike. Is well, there is another thing that I've been meaning to do is to figure out what we're gonna do with this freaking crankcase breather hose. I'm trying to decide what we're gonna do. I think because there's not a lot of room to put a catch can right here. That, or I can just hook it back up to the intake, you know. But I don't really want to do that. I want to get oil all over my intake too. So, but I do want a catch can because this bike pukes oil every time I turn it off, you know. That's well, it's a crankcase, man. That's what happens. So what we're gonna do is also I wanted to mention I did back off the compression before we thing, and I thought it was okay, but on the whoops I felt I needed more compression, but I kept on forgetting, like, oh, we need to bump up the compression for the whoops, but I never did. So for the most part the bike handled okay, you know. It handled fantastically okay, I won't say that. Not okay, it was great, you know.
Coming home.
Okay. Alright, let's go check out that air filter. So